Hey, Jared.
Frank, how are you?
Yeah, great, man. Great.
Thank you for having me, brother.
Yeah, nice to meet you, man.
You as well. So I just wanted to let you know I am plugged in. So if it's not going to sound the greatest, but take a listen. Here I am. So maybe if we want to play a few notes or whatever, just so we have it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, of course. No, it sounds good to me.
Awesome.
It's interesting, your career up till now.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it
Pretty
is.
wild.
Because what I've read is that last year you were touring in Europe for 308 days. That's
I really
incredible.
was. True.
Yeah, how was that?
So it was actually for 2019. Now.
Oh, for 2029. Sorry.
No,
yeah.
you're good.
Okay.
You're good. I know last year's kind of a blur.
Yeah.
So I released my original, hold on, this guitar that's behind you, and now I'm holding this guitar, my original signature, Old Glory, at the NAMM show in 2019. So I remember that I had a bunch of touring set up with my trio. I was getting ready to go all over the world to play festivals. We were coming to the Netherlands. We were going to be all in the Benelux region. And I was touring in America, and I got this schedule. And this was in January. It was like January 25th, I got this schedule. It was right after the NAMM show. And it was a spreadsheet with countries. And it was insane. Literally, I looked at it, and I was like, okay. So I went everywhere between doing clinics supporting my Old Glory guitar and my Black Star amp at the time, to playing festivals all over Europe. And then I even went as far as like Egypt, and I went to Dubai and Turkey, crazy places like that. And it was a crazy experience, but I remember I had Old Glory the whole time with me, and I mostly traveled alone. So it was a really, really wild year. And ramping up into 2020, we were right back at it. We went to the NAMM show, and I went on Joe Bonamassa's Keeping the Blues Alive cruise. And then I was going straight to Europe. And I was in Europe, actually. We had done some shows in the UK. We went to France, and then we were in Spain. And that's when everything started to close down. And we missed out on coming back to the Netherlands. We had shows planned, and but I can't wait to be back. I love coming to the Benelux region and playing. Yeah. It's so much fun.
Yeah, great. Yeah, ever so welcome, of course, Jared.
Thank you.
And you did a workshop with Black Star with us at Bax.
Yep, I'll never forget. I had a
I
remember it was early in the morning, and then we did one later at night at this store. It was awesome.
I hope that we do the open days again next year, because this year, we do specials and do some live streams, and hope to see you again then.
Well, I will tell you this, and I promise that once they give me the green light that I can come back over and we can play music and be together, I will be there. I will be the first one on the plane.
You're ever so welcome at Bax Music, man.
Thank you.
All right. I got some questions I prepared. But first, for the people who don't know much about you, you've played with quite interesting artists, like Zakk Wylde, the Lynyrd Skynyrd guys you hang out with. How do you get to hang out with those guys?
Crazy. So like, if I could say like, I've been so lucky to be the right place at the right time. Whether it's Aerosmith or ZZ Top or Skynyrd or Glenn Hughes or whatever, these big artists. Thankfully, you know what it is? I think there's not a lot of young touring groups that are willing to travel for no money and just play. And I remember that was how I started it. And I started to meet these bands. We were playing a festival in South Dakota in America. It was the motorcycle rally. And I remember this like it was yesterday. We were playing this festival, and all of a sudden I look over, and it's Gary Rosington, the lead guitarist of Lynyrd Skynyrd, watching me. There was like 20 people there, and then he was there. And he goes, "Man, come play with us." And I was like, "What?" So there's these little, random things that happen. And It's like people say, you never know who's watching. You never know how one event will lead to the next. And I feel lucky because I've been able to play and tour and perform with so many of my heroes.
Yeah. It's obvious also that your playing technique draws attention.
Yeah. Well, I don't use a pick, and
No.
everyone. It's funny because when I play, the reason I don't use a pick is because I write and I do everything in life with my left hand. So when I first picked up a guitar, I wanted to hold it like this, man. I was like, and I remember I got like talked off it. It was like, play righty, you'll find better guitars. It'll be easier for you to learn and jam. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. But the pick never felt right. So when most players or, people see me play at a show or on a video, they'll think to themselves, wow, I think they go, wow, that guy's pretty cool. All right, cool. And then they go, he's not using a pick. So I use my thumb, my thumb goes down, my index, my middle, my ring go up. And it doesn't, if you just close your eyes and listen, if I play. But it's all fingers.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Of course, you can play techniques with picks, like pinch harmonics or something. Mm-hmm. Is that possible when you play with your fingers as well?
Yeah. So like a lot of techniques that because all of my heroes and all my biggest influences use picks. So for me, I kind of had to adapt. There's certain things I do the way or places when you don't play with a pick, everything matters. That's why I like this guitar. It's so simple, but every way you hit it and everywhere you play, it makes it sound different. So I had to adopt different techniques from like bass players and stuff. So with harmonics, right? Like you can have your natural harmonics, of course. Cool. All right. And then you can start to get the false harmonics where you tap 10, 12. And then I can do this really crazy one. And I know my camera isn't zoomed in, but I basically hold my thumb and I pick up on the note with my index. And listen, I can start to get a harmonic. Like, check this out.
Yeah.
And then if I put the gain up.
Yeah, lovely.
But these are all things that no one showed me. I just had to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And necessity is the mother of invention, right? So instead of me saying, I can't do that, I just figured out a different way to do it using my fingers.
Yeah. But you started playing with the pick, right? And then at a certain point, people told you that you sounded like Stevie Ray Vaughan, for instance.
Yes. So my whole beginnings, and this is a really good segue, is I always wanted to sound like Stevie Ray Vaughan. I always wanted to sound like Jimi Hendrix. And I didn't understand that with guitar, you could play your own way. Forever, I was trying to copy everyone. Like many players, you try and play what your idols played. So I remember I had a completely different setup at that time. I think I even had a Stratocaster. Like I had a twin reverb amp. I had all this different stuff. And I was trying to sound like Stevie desperately. And I was getting pretty good at it because people started to say, man, you sound great. You sound just like Stevie Ray Vaughan. And at first I was like, yes, I'm doing it. But then after a while, you start to say to yourself, well, when am I going to sound like me? How do I sound like me? Where's my personality? So I really worked hard and I got it to the point where I started to take my influences, like guys like Stevie Ray Vaughan and Leslie West and all these different guitar players, and I put it in a big melting pot. And I just kept practicing and playing and saying, okay, I love this about Stevie. I love this about Jimmy. What if I put all this stuff together in my own way? And then when I really dedicated myself to playing a Les Paul, which is, the polar opposite of Stevie Ray Vaughan, that's when I started to find my sound and I started to get inspired to play my own way. So a lot of people will ask me, they'll say, well, don't you like to play other guitars or don't you like to do this or that? And it's like, don't get me wrong. I love guitar, period. I love everything about the instrument. But when I want to speak and I want to play the way that feels most like me, that's why I gravitate towards these, and Les Pauls. And I love the P90 pickups and things like that. So my long-winded answer to your question is, yes, I played with a pick for a few years, and then ultimately I put it down to find my own sound.
Isn't it strange that a simple guitar? Let's go take a look. Because I really, I have one here.
Oh,
Same one.
yeah.
Isn't it strange that whenever a guitar is that simple, you have to explore it?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that really good for finding your own tone?
I always say my thing about this is a lot of players would see this. Ooh, look at that. Mm-hmm. They would say to themselves, people could see this and go, oh, well, it's so simple. It's only one pickup. It's only going to make one sound, right? And it couldn't be further from the truth, because the simple fact is that this is like an open palette. This, to me, is the ultimate in self-expression. And when I say that, everyone that picks it up, it's like, it's so simple that like you said, you have to explore it, and you have to say, okay, well, what happens if I turn it all the way up? And you have to find your own sound within this guitar. Most guitars, they guide you on this nice path where it's like, okay, I'm playing right now a Les Paul Custom, 3 pickups, a Bigsby, all of this stuff. So man, there's a lot to explore without thinking about playing. Just with the guitar. So with this guitar, it's so simple that you have to say to yourself, okay, I need to make sounds. How am I going to make these? And for me, I crave that simplicity. That's what I love about it. So like really quick, like the volume and tone knob with this P90 pickup, it's the heart of the guitar. And using these knobs and really twisting and finding all the different tones in them, it's crazy. Yes, because literally, if I put this volume knob at 2 and I start to play, I get this sound. It's almost like chicken picking, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm not using any pedals. Yeah, I'm not using any pedals. I'm plugged straight into my Blackstar. And I love to show people that literally wherever you put this volume knob, I just had it at about 2 there. If I put it at 5, you can start to hear it. Like I could go Rolling Stones. There's all of that tone. And as you roll it up, it's kind of like a dirt bike, and then you get up to 10. And then, of course, with the tone knob as well, if you roll it all the way off, you get a certain Mr. Eric Clapton, right?
Yeah, the woman tone.
You get your woman tone. And you can do the wah-wah trick, which is just using the tone. There's just so much with so little that to me is the inspiring part about this guitar. Everyone that picks it up, they're going to sound different through it because they're going to pick it up and interpret it their own way.
Right, and the P90 of course helps. I love P90s myself.
Yes.
And a really nice one, Seymour Duncan with the dog ears.
Yeah, the Seymour Duncan, and that was so cool for me too, because to have this signature guitar and to be able to put a pickup in it that I would put in any guitar, like even if I were to get a used Les Paul, whatever, Gibson or not. The fact that my signature Epiphone comes with a USA Seymour Duncan, it's like I'm so happy about that because I feel at home with that. It's just great tone.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Can you show us some? Can you play something maybe?
Sure, of course. You don't have to twist my arm to play.
Woo! Oh, and all out of this only go with one P90 only.
And what's great is a lot of people will say, man, don't you get bored? Like, don't you get bored playing such a simple guitar? And to me, that's so exciting because I got to make all the sounds out of one, you know?
Yeah.
And then, of course, when I'm playing with my band, it's so much fun because with a guitar like this, when you turn it up more and more, like the volume, you get more tones. That's what I love about P90s. They're so, you know, a lot of people go, oh, they buzz. They're buzzy. And it's like, they do. But they're not filtering out, to me, any of the tones. So you can really mess with them. Feedback, volume, it sounds cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about your guitar?
Uh-huh.
Because it's based on a 55 Les Paul body.
Yes.
But not really, is it?
No, it's this guitar. So when I played my original Old Glory,
Yeah.
it was
The one
a 60.
hanging in the back. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That guitar was based on that 55 kind of reminiscent of the Les Paul custom shape of that year. But what's cool about this that I really love, look at it in the camera. My eyes, I can't. You can like do like signals with it.
Let me signal something to you. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. We're talking now like this.
Yeah.
But this guitar, to me, I love the feeling of a full body Les Paul. And when I mean that, I mean like, you know, the standard, the custom, the way that these feel. Because right here, check this out. Look at this baby.
Yeah, love it.
So this is a 1956 Junior, right?
Yeah,
And
a Junior.
I love it. It's beautiful. It's so amazing. And it sounds amazing. But this, to me, is a big part of what Gold Glory is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But when I play the Les Paul Junior, I'm not a small person, but when I play the Les Paul Junior, it feels a little smaller to me. It feels the body, and that's cool. But when I have the Junior kind of style, the single pickup and all this on, I'll say a full body Les Paul, one with a carved top, you know, binding, it puts me somewhere else and it's inspiring. And like this guitar, mahogany body, mahogany neck, the ebony fingerboard, medium jumbo frets. To me, it doesn't get much better or much easier than that.
Right, and it feels wonderful, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people will ask too, they'll say, Jared, Gibson Custom. They must be Gibson Customs with Epiphone headstocks, the ones that I play, right? And I'm here to say, no. The guitar that I play is the same that you will get at Bax. It's the same guitar that is hanging up there, right there. And there's been many times that I've gone to play shows or do a clinic or things like that. And especially with the original Old Glory, when I was in real person, that I didn't have my guitar, so I would take one at the shop. And the only thing I'd do, because I'm crazy, I'd stretch the strings because I bend all the time, tune it up, make sure I had like a medium action, and it was it. And I just played the way I wanted to play. And I love the fact that when you see me play Gold Glory or Old Glory, you're hearing me play the same guitar that you could be owning as well.
Yeah, I love it.
It's cool.
Well, Jared, thank you very much for your time. Our time is up.
Oh my goodness, that was so fast. Amazing.
It was so fast. Yeah, we could talk for hours.
Yeah, we could.
I love your guitar, man.
Thanks
very much for
Thanks for your
explaining
support. Cheers, man.
Right, yeah. Bye.
See you, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.